Okay, so I'm Inger, and I'm a consultant for the PD Academy in Denmark. And we worked with Dropout, vocational school dropout, which is a very big problem in Denmark. 50% of students going to vocational sector drops out, which is a big problem because we don't have any educational alternative. So they will be unemployed, most of them, for the rest of their life if they don't have an education and complete this education. So we worked with the PD approach with teachers who wanted to challenge the notion that it was a natural consequence of the current legislation that 50% had to drop out because they were in no way adequate to have an education. And one of the teachers, whose name is Kim, he had been doing the discovery, and he had been finding some practices and some key insights as to how come young men who are not ready to have an education, who are not the typical grade A student, how did they complete their education? And he found that one of the key insights was that a 20-week-long auto mechanic basic education was too long. It was simply incomprehensible to look 20 weeks ahead, and even looking a year ahead in the future plans was too much. You had to have a plan from Monday to Friday. You have to have very specific deadline, and actually the student itself had to be the boss of those deadlines. And then you had to have again a goal from Friday to Monday, because weekends for a vulnerable young man who might enjoy substance of different kind can be a very big obstacle. So when do we see each other on Monday, at what time and where? And why is it's important that you show up every morning, was a key insight. So one day, Kim looked out of the window and saw 8 boys standing on a parking lot, kicking tires. They'd been kicked out of school. Torben, their teacher, had given up. They were too impossible. They had conflicts. They were making disturbances in his classroom. They were coming and going as they saw fit, very provocative, because these boys believed in excluding themselves before Torben expelled them. So Torben said, this is it, 8 boys, you can go out. And 8 boys out of a class of 40 is a quite big dropout percentage already right there. And Kim picked them, fetched them on the parking lot and said, so come on, we do an experiment. You have your teacher sessions with me, but otherwise you follow Torben's class. And during those teacher sessions, he worked with these specific targets, breaking down the learning goals and learning targets, not from 20 weeks until future plans, but until 5-day plans, and even weekend plans. And he managed to make a social structure between the 8 boys so they would be able to have a support system and help each other to get up in the morning and actually come to school. And 13 weeks later, all 8 boys graduated and are now excellent students at the next level of education and will become excellent auto mechanics, even though they still say that they know some tricks, so they haven't become grade A citizens. For Torben, who kicked the students out, it was a key insight as to this is not an intractable problem. He thought it was natural that these boys could never have an education. But seeing what Kim did, he learned that there was a solution possible, and all of a sudden he wanted to learn what Kim did. How did Kim have his teacher sessions? So now Torben has his teacher sessions the same way, and the dropout rate has improved ever since. And once Torben started to do this, because Torben was not interested in doing PD discovery processes, other auto mechanic teachers have joined him at the table and are interested in learning how can we solve a current problem, which is not the dropout rate for the teachers, but actually reducing the level of conflict in their teaching so they can concentrate on what they enjoy the most.